Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Mr. Pod, episode 18. We've made it. Today I'm here with Eric, who's making Doko Roko. We're going to talk about, probably, who knows at this point. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Mig?
Hmm. Oh my God, I'm fantastic. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
wow.
It's it's nice. It's nice when you ask back instead of just saying good. Anyway, for those of you not familiar, do you have a website for Doko Roko?
I do. It's called okaboogames.com
Oh my
is where you
God, you're gonna have to spell the shit out of that, man.
it's, yeah, I'll put it in the chat because it's horribly pretentious.
Yeah, well, not everybody's reading the chat, so you might have to
Oh,
just spell it out.
okay. It's okay. O B U as in boo games dot
Perfect.
com.
All right, that's for the YouTubers because I don't post the chat up there.
All right.
Now, how long you been? How long you been at this?
So I guess I've been working on this for about a year now. Year and change, I would say. I've been working on the project basically from nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, from its inception. Like knowing absolutely nothing about making a game or whatever. And it started off as this kind of like it was originally called Grumpy Climbers. It was what it was called before I overscoped massively, and it just consumed my life and my well-being. Um, and it was like this stupid like physics-based game that I had in my head where you'd be controlling like two little climbers and you'd be climbing this kind of but just like a bunch of like randomly generated platforms or
Yeah,
whatever.
so like
And
ice, so like an ice climbers type of game.
yeah, like ice climbers for the modern day though, because there'd be like a physics tether between them. But it just turned out to be like really awkward and really unmanageable and stupid. So I
So
was just like, what?
this is interesting to me because it sounds like basically you and I started doing this at like almost exactly the same time,
Yeah, I think
with a very almost the same kind of a thing.
we're both just naive, stupid people. I
like
think.
little things with big swords,
Yeah,
and we started. I was a little bit over a year ago now.
yeah.
Also from nothing, but I come from more of a programming background, and it sounds like you're more of an art background.
Yeah, so I went to the Massachusetts College of Art and Design for a year before I dropped out and was like, fuck this, art college is worthless and you can learn basically with the internet now it's totally pointless in my opinion to go to art college because a lot of the information that you need or you would want is just online. So I ended up doing like an online program by this artist and concept artist Noah Bradley, and that just helped me way more than any like teaching that I received at Mass Art. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you can Google and you know what you want to do, then that's a way better option, especially if you're an American, because it costs so much money to go and like paint models every day.
yeah,
Because that's what I went to art school for like 2 years,
yeah,
and before I decided that wasn't really for me, it took me 2 years. I was a little slower than you,
yeah,
and all we did was just like go in. The teacher would just say, "Okay, go," and then we would all just kind of do our own thing. It's like, well, I could be doing this in my garage.
yeah,
And then when we were done, and it was actually like we were doing galleries and stuff like that, and you had to defend your choices and just not worth it, man. Like that that is not a fun thing to do.
no,
Uh, so, but I've always been more of a programmer, like since I was, let's say 12. I'm 30 now, so that's when I started with QBasic.
yeah. I just started like I fucking like 2 or 3 years ago is when I just started learning Java.
Yeah, but
Stupid.
you're better at art than I am, so.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. At this point, I'm beginning to wonder if I like am or I don't know. We can talk about that later, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so what was your inspiration? Because you've got some like really striking style with what's going on, and I have never really seen anything like it in particular.
Yeah. So like I guess what I mean by that I don't think. Uh, so I think basically I feel like I'm really good at choosing colors and color palettes and whatever, and trying to figure out how that affects people emotionally and what you can kind of do with those different combinations of colors and stuff. Whereas like I don't think I'm as technically proficient a pixel artist as like a ton of other people, but I think I have some of that going for me, you know?
Yeah, well, pixel art is kind of one of those things, you know, like color and shape are just immensely important, but everything is so forgiving, and if you have style, it's like readily apparent.
Yeah.
And what happened with me, and I think a lot of people mirror this, is you come from a background like I came from painting, and so when I started, I was trying to make things that look like things, just kind of like when you start art, you draw a person that looks like a person, and then when you get comfortable, you start doing things that are like something that looks like what you imagine a person feels like.
Yeah,
Instead.
that's exactly it.
Yeah, and that's where you get your style from, and that's like something that whenever people are like, "How do I learn to draw pixel art like you or whatever?" and it's like, "Have you ever drawn before?" and they haven't.
Yeah.
It's like, well, sit down, son, because this is not an easy thing to do. It's like it comes from inside of you. It has nothing to do with reading a tutorial.
Yeah, and like that's not to say like there's a ton of stuff you can learn from like tutorials and stuff, but if you don't have the fundamentals down and you can't break those down into their baser elements and like fit it into a really confined space, then you're not going to do well, I don't think.
People are commenting on my open buttons. Well, the joke's on you, fuckers. This is a Pearl Snap shirt. It's not even buttons. I'm so fucking Texas right now, you don't even know.
Oh man, I don't think I answered Bandy Grass's question of what inspired Dokuroko, but I
kind of did.
Did I? I don't think I did. But it was like, I feel like every fucking indie person mentions Dark Souls as an influence, but like I think that is a big influence, but a lot of my influences come from like just stupid, or not stupid, but like really good photography that I see on Tumblr that I like, and just different, I don't know, just like assimilating like a lot of environments and landscapes and lighting situations.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Like the contrast between the backgrounds and the foregrounds and having everything kind of in and out of focus, and like that actually makes a lot of sense. That's the best answer I could accept.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of dumb answer because it's like I don't feel like my art style is that inspired by any particular video game. Where like I mean like I guess Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery kind of opened me up to the idea that it doesn't have to be like really bright and flashy and like high contrast pastels, you know.
Yeah, they did that, you know, and a lot of people learned the lesson that was wrong and tried to copy like the shape that they were doing.
Yeah,
and so you see a lot of rip-offs, and they don't really fully understand like the color contrast and everything, so it's just not good.
Yeah, so. And I feel like I don't really understand the theory behind it, but I feel I feel like I have like a mental Rolodex of a bunch of different lighting situations that I really like and make me feel different things, and I can kind of categorize in my head.
Yeah, Super Brothers is kind of like a style that you create when you take a bunch of acid and figure that people have like 5 arm joints.
Yeah.
That change location willy-nilly. So I don't know how it works, man. Like, I look at that shit and I'm like, this looks amazing, but I have no idea why. And I show it to other people and they're like, this is the dumbest looking thing, until they look at it for a second and they're like, wow, but it works. So I don't know. I can't help anybody with that. Hyperlight Drifter is kind of another one of those that like not everybody really gets the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But,
What do you mean though? They don't get the aesthetic, like they don't get the pixel aesthetic, or just like the colors and the shapes of that?
It looks really lazy.
What do you mean?
No, I mean like to a person that is not an artist, and I'm talking about, I work with programmers. That's it.
Yeah.
Like the most strict, like, art doesn't matter, autistic programmers you could possibly imagine. And I show them stuff that I think is cool, and they're like, "You think this is cool? This is stupid. Like, this is the dumbest looking."
You don't fucking get it.
So, yeah, I know. The theme of this episode is your hair. Everybody seems to be commenting on it.
Oh man, yeah. I just don't wash it. That's how you get this look.
I don't
You can-
either. Yeah,
So,
I think that's
really?
just an indie thing. You stop washing your hair when you start making videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Like,
don't-
I'm gonna. This is gonna be a backlash for this, but I really can't remember the last time I washed my hair.
Oh god. I try to wash it at least like once a month, but
Yeah, I go to work every day. They have no idea.
they just have no clue.
They don't. You just. Of course, I ride my bike, so like bugs and stuff fall out of it as the wind.
You just developing ecosystems upon ecosystems in your hair, in your
Exactly. That's why I'm healthy. It's because of all the bugs that go into my skull and take the stuff out of my skull.
Yeah,
Um,
they rejuvenate your scalp, is what I hear.
For sure. So you ran a Kickstarter campaign. I want to say recently, but time is just a mystery to me these days. Was it like a couple months ago?
Time is relative. Yeah, it was like 2 months ago that it concluded. It was
Yeah.
like November 22nd, I think.
So did you run the whole campaign yourself, or did you have like outside influence manage it for you? Or
No, for the most part, it was mostly me. And then I had actually this one guy on Twitter who was just trying to like coach me through it and try not to make me like. I don't know if I took like any of his advice, but it was good to have him there, like just like being, don't fucking do this because you'll fuck up and no one will like you if you say that. And
Yeah.
then sometimes I just edit stuff anyway because.
Chris from Noct was kind of, I don't want to say a mentor to me, but like when I started like really working on stuff, he kept offering advice. Like every day he would give me different advice, and it was like I didn't take any of it because that's kind of my personality. But like he was like, "Man, you gotta do this. This is the way you do it. This is how you be successful." And I didn't know any better, but I'm gonna do things my own way. I don't think that anybody really knows the right way.
No.
Because
Yeah, and the thing was like the guy coaching me was like, well, your stretch goals should include stuff like more weapons and more gear, and like you could prompt like 100 weapons for your game, or like, and it was like that's not what I want to do with this. Or the other thing was like custom like backer created content where it's like,
oh god,
like you get to make a monster for this game or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I don't want.
because everybody is just a font of infinite talent and insight, and the things that they make would be good and not ruin the game.
I love their ideas and
Well, yeah, but like to address the first one, I kind of feel like if you can make a stretch goal to add things that you want to put in the game, just put them in the game, like. Because
Yeah.
that's what probably ends up happening anyway. If something is in your plan, your design for the game, you will do it regardless, because it makes
Yeah.
the game good. I don't think drawing 100 extra swords is like, what is extra if you have an idea that's good. It's,
Yeah, that
it's
was the
part of the
thing.
game. You wouldn't
Yeah.
just. It's like you'd end up with like bacon swords and shit because you just run out of ideas.
That's the thing, though, is like I don't know how many swords I'm gonna need for the game to be balanced yet, because I haven't gotten that far yet. So
Yeah.
it's like, why would I say it needs 100 swords right out
So
the gate?
the real advice, kids at home, is if you're running a Kickstarter, you should lie about your stretch goal and
lie.
act like you know what you're gonna do, even if you can't possibly, because there's no backfiring.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's been successfully sued over an absence of weapon numbers in the game.
No, I hope not, because that doesn't bode well. Then
Otherwise, you're screwed.
you're you're just effed. Punches Bears asks if that guy's gifs on Twitter a lot with the physics bears.
Yeah, Bears is great.
Yeah. Said how long did it take to plan the campaign, and I guess I would say it took like a month in advance to plan. I mean, like it took like a year to make all the content that I wanted to, and kind of get it to a place where I kind of had a roadmap of what the whole game was going to kind of feel like and be like. But then it took kind of like a month to kind of plan out the description for everything and to edit the video, and all that took time. So
Yeah. Did you do all your video editing and everything yourself? Is that something that you had done before, or?
yeah, well, I mean, like I've done some video editing before at like Mass Art. We had to do some video projects, so I just knew it from that, and so the editing is not very good, as Britt Brady told me. So
Well, that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
yeah, was he no?
He hides his secrets in the beard and man bun. I've had a really long streak of people with just like strange haircuts. I guess Jenny had kind of a normal haircut, except she has the side shave like an indie person.
Oh man, I think I have that too, but it's like hidden.
Oh, you're like secret closet indie hair.
I know. It's like it's a covert haircut where I try to hide my shame.
Yeah, since I'm not going to GDC this year, I don't have to make any hair decisions.
Good for you.
It's not really my choice, you know. It's I'm gonna have a new child around that time, and my wife would never forgive me. It's like you went to hang out with nerds at GDC. Plus, I don't think there's really a reason to do that. You know,
Yeah,
for me in particular.
I know. I was talking to Bandygrass just on Twitter briefly, and I was like, "Oh man, I'd really like to go there, but I really don't want to spend however many dollars that cost, like $700 or whatever."
And time.
And time.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of time spent planning and going, and then you spend the money, and really all you do is you meet a bunch of developers who are too poor to buy your game anyway.
Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah, you got to get on those news sites. So you spend the time getting on those sites instead of going to GDC. I think you'd be better off.
Yeah.
Plus, never listen to Sandy. He intentionally gives people bad advice in order to you know, catapult above them.
Is that his plan?
He's a saboteur.
He's a scoundrel.
He's a filthy rogue, and Spaceboy Games is a hive of scum and villainy.
Oh man. No, it's not. They're good people, I think.
They're like all in here.
I really like them and their stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel, I don't know if you get this, but do you feel jealous sometimes that you're not on a team of people who like are just like sanctioned in their own little tasks or whatever?
I don't think I'd ever admit to being jealous of Spaceboy Games. But
Really?
No, I mean, Zach and I talk a lot. You know, there are pros and cons to anything. I think the main pro of the situation that we're in is we can change on a dime. If something doesn't work, you just move to the next idea. And you don't have to discuss it with a bunch of people who all have opinions. And, you know, if like what doesn't work is somebody's really their strongest idea, then you don't have to worry about hurting their feelings because it's you.
Yeah. You get to be judge, jury, and executioner, right?
Yes, exactly. And so when I decided to just kind of like go from platformer to 2.5D to now a dodgeball game.
Yeah.
That's now 3D. It's like
Went from
if I was on a team, I would have just made the bad game originally that I wasn't happy with at all, and it would be done. But I wouldn't be happy with it, you know.
Is it a bad game because it's not in 2.5D? Is that what you're saying?
No, it was a bad game because it was, you know, just I didn't plan out a lot of stuff. I kept redrawing all the assets because I kept improving.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem for me. I don't know if you have that issue, but like every
I'm
time.
I'm trying to avoid that issue I'm going to try to do most of the art at the end so I can just hate myself later instead of having to redraw everything over again.
Yeah, it really sucks. like having to go through and then like you figure out that your colors aren't working together, and so you redraw one thing and figure out something you like better, and then you're like, wow, well, why would I have bad art on purpose? And then you go through and do everything else. That's how I feel, you know. I've got a job to where I'm not going to starve regardless, so I can, I guess, afford to make decisions more about what I'm proud of than what will finish the game.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah, man.
You're just killing it.
Never
get
finish.
those likes.
I'm going to be so Twitter famous.
I know.
If I could just package the idea of making a game as a product and sell that, I would probably prefer it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, maybe like a tutorial series where I build the game to nowhere.
That's what it could be called. It's just called Game to Nowhere.
Yes, and in the year 2048, then it will be released as the most like disjointed, feature creepy thing. But yeah, but I digress. Back to Kickstarter. I mean, like, was that a stressful time for you, or did you have a pretty good idea that everything was going to work out?
It actually was pretty stressful initially because I'd been talking to the guy who did the soundtrack to the Kickstarter preview, and his name is Boxes Closer on Twitter. You should follow him. He's cool. But I was talking to him, and I was like, I don't even know if anyone is gonna give me money for this. Like, I have some like Twitter followers. I had like 2,000 at the time, but I wasn't sure if that was going to equate to my goal of $30,000. So I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work at all.
Yeah,
but then
you can't trust Twitter to give money.
No, but I guess I could, because I ended up, like, most of the money I received was from people on Twitter.
Really?
So my analytics tell me. I don't know.
Interesting. And I always relate it back to Noct, because that was the other Kickstarter campaign I was familiar with. Have you seen Noct?
Not? How do you...
Noct. N-O-C-T. Sorry, I have allergies, so I can't pronounce things.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, basically, the whole thing was kickstarted from Imgur, like an Imgur gallery that got, like, infinity million upvotes or whatever.
Oh, crap.
And Reddit. And not really Twitter at all. Apparently all the stuff that went through Twitter amounted to nothing for him. But maybe that means that Imgur is more of a horror game thing, while Twitter is more of a... like a, I don't know. I don't even know what to describe your game as.
I don't know.
Like a whimsical...
I'm trying to coin the term punk fantasy, but I don't know if that's caught on anywhere or if it's stupid. But it's not really punk. I don't know.
Punk fantasy?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people throw the word punk around in indie dev, and I don't think anybody knows what it means.
I don't think I know what it means. Just sound.
Now, I watched SLC Punk, so I can tell you.
I've seen SLC Punk.
See, so you know the definition.
I guess. You just do drugs with your friends.
Yeah, and then become a lawyer or whatever. Like, that's punk, is
that's
to
punk.
Ultimately become part of the machine is the goal of being punk, I think.
That's pretty dark.
It's like anarchy until not, and then the opposite.
It's like self-defeatist. You just
We're
You
gonna.
set out for a goal, and it's to fight the man, and then you become the man.
The only way to fight the man is to be the man, but being the man is so good that you no longer have to fight. And that's punk. Yeah, we're gonna get on some shit lists with like punk groups.
Oh.
there are punk groups. You gotta watch out.
There's a scar on our names now in all punk communities.
They'll strike at us from the 80s where they existed.
Yeah.
Through time. I gotta write down this game idea now.
All right.
Future punk.
You can make that in the middle of dodgeball.
Yes. No, I mean, the whole point of dodgeball was to have something with a narrow scope that I could see the end, where I wanted to be able to build a set of features that I could then move back into other projects and, rapidly develop those things. So it's not going to take that much longer. People
really?
No, it's coming along pretty well.
Oh, nice.
But going 3D was kind of a step back.
It's a step in the right dimension, I guess you could say.
It's definitely different, but I like it, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who feel betrayed by that for some reason.
I know. What's their deal?
They need to just chill.
I think it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. 3D is cool, but it's like the opposite of what I've been saying up until now. No, I'm not really a big fan of 3D for independent game developers because it the harder you focus on graphics, it seems like the less you can focus on, systems. Because making systems work in 3D is a lot different than making them work in 2D.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you got some brainiacs on your team.
Fucking brainiacs.
Those big, smart, juicy brains.
Yeah, well, we ain't got none of those. But yes. So, let's go with the canned questions. Like, what made you want to start developing games?
God, I don't know. Wait, I'm actually trying to think of what made me.
Like, how did you go from art to thinking like game art, or was it always about a means to an end?
Okay, so basically, I think I had this moment where I was taking those video courses that I was telling you about earlier that were done by Noah Bradley. And I was doing that, and I was like, I really want to be a concept artist. Concept artists are so cool, and they just do cool art all day, and they're just making different worlds. And then I kind of came to the conclusion, or I kind of realized over time, there are very few people that actually do concept art, and you got to be really fucking good if you want to do that concept art, just unimaginably good.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, though, you're also doing work for someone else. So you're someone else is the idea guy, and they're just telling you everything that you got to do.
Yeah, that sucks. And it's like, I've told people this before. It's like, if you grew up and you aren't the best artist you've ever met, you're not going to be a concept artist. Like, it's just not going to happen for you. Unless you went to some prodigy school with, a bunch of really, really talented people. Like, I know one real concept artist who works for Rovio in real life, and it was the guy that made everybody else really sad in high school doing art. It's that guy. It's the guy that everybody's like, well, I'll never be that guy.
Yeah. You got to be the guy who you can never become.
That's the guy. You have to be born with a brain capable of... Yeah. And that would be a really cool job. And a lot of people I've met in college who wanted to be concept artists were just drawing anime girls all the time. And they were like, oh, I'll be a concept artist. Look at these anime girls. And it's like, listen, you pull them aside. And you're like, you're not growing. All you're doing is drawing the same anime girls over and over. Unless the concept is anime clones the game, you're never going to be a concept artist.
Oh, maybe that'll be my next game then. If I can't be a concept artist. No, but like I had that realization then. I was like, and then, but like on top of that, I was like making concept art. So it's so static, and it's so like I have existential crises every time I see concept art that I really like, because it's like I can't go to that world that's in that picture because it's not a game and I can't explore that world. So I was basically just like, I wanted to make interactive worlds where people would actually fucking spend a little time in and get to know them. And to do that, you have to make them really fucking good, is what I learned. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and the whole idea of trusting somebody once you make your concept to actually make something good with it, I could never. I've gotten job offers since I started doing this, and I think most people do who kind of amount to anything. But I would never make somebody else's games. That sounds horrible.
you know.
Like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I don't have the burnout that you see because I'm not doing a bunch of shit I don't want to do. I'm actually doing exactly what I want to do all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you can avoid burnout in that way because you can just jump around to whatever you want to work on at the time. You just want to make music that day. You just make music for it. Or if you want to do art, you do art.
Yeah,
So,
and I do think I think you see a lot of people start from like working for a project. They get some notoriety because they did one part of that project, and then they like try and branch out because they felt stifled by what they were doing, or they didn't get enough credit. That's sometimes the issue. But no, I think we're in total agreement, and that makes for a really boring conversation.
maybe we should pick a controversial question.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think we disagree on? Now here's the thing, because if we started at the same time making little things with big swords, which one of us is the good one and which one of us is the evil one?
I think I'm the evil one.
You think so?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
No, you know what's funny is how I kind of come to know the man that is Miguelito was you posted one day and you're like, whoa, look at how Dokoroka is doing their sword right there with they're just dragging it along the ground. And then and then everyone responded and was like, no, you shouldn't do that. That's stupid. And then I was like, oh, okay.
No, it doesn't. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, no.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was funny because everyone like unanimously agreed that it was dumb.
Yeah, and you know what? Because of that, and because I'm such a contrarian, when they told me not to do it, I spent a lot more time doing it than I should have. Like every time I put out a question, and people just overwhelmingly support one idea, I like do the other thing because I just don't. I don't want to do what people are telling me to.
You gotta do that.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, ultimately, I go back to stuff. I just never. I don't know if maybe it's hubris, and maybe it's like I don't want to admit to myself that if I give other people credit for an idea, that it's no longer my idea anymore.
That's real. That's really real.
But I don't think that's it. I just think that I think I'm so much smarter than everybody else.
And you are, yeah.
I could be. I don't know. There hasn't been a test designed to determine if I'm better at game dev than other people. I guess we'll see whenever I put the games out. See if people buy them.
Yeah, I guess that.
Isn't that terrifying that you could be done and you make something that you really love and then you put it out there and then it's crickets and nobody ever talks about it?
It's like, yeah, fuck that. I'll get that on a Steam sale or whatever. Or I'll never get that.
It happens. It happens, man. Like, people spend a lot of time. They really, like, think they have a great plan. They spend years working on it. And then they put it out, and it's just like, nobody likes it.
That's just horrifying.
It's a terrible, horrible thing. I don't think it'll happen for you.
Hopefully not.
Because I think platformers in general.
Yeah,
but
even then, it's like, if you like your own thing that you're making, like, why should it matter? Even though it does.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Because what I would really like to be able to do is this all the time.
Yeah.
And as it is, I've got a family, I've got a mortgage. I can't just.
That's the problem.
I can't just drop everything. Yeah, I'd have to like get divorced and disappear to some foreign country where nobody can find me if I want to work on games all the time. But I would really like for it to be successful so that I could say, okay, now I'm going to keep doing it. But if it's not, I probably won't. It's a waste of time.
But it's fun for you, isn't it?
No, it's fun. Yeah. It's fun, but it absorbs every single day from like 11 p.m. to like 5 a.m.
Yeah,
it does a number on your body when you do that all the time.
Yeah, it can be crushing at times.
Yeah, I mean, I got shingles.
You got shingles?
I got shingles like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago when I was like talking to a bunch of publishers and trying to work some stuff out, and I was like under a lot of stress. Not really doing much dev, just like really worrying about it all the time. I got fucking shingles, and then I was like, yeah, it's time to just say fuck you to all this and just.
Wait, you were worrying about development, and you were getting shingles?
I was worried about I got it in my head like because I talked to a bunch of publishers, and I got it in my head if these publishers don't like it, then I'm not doing something worthwhile. And then it got strung along for months, where people were like sending me an email to check in, just saying, "Oh, we haven't gotten around to it yet," and like just the strain of the thinking about somebody else not liking what I had spent time on was just too much for me, I guess, and I had to get back to like having fun again. And that's what I'm doing now. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. Like, if somebody comes in and they're like, "I'll give you $1 million," I just say, "Fuck you." Like, I don't want your money. I want to have fun. If you think it's worth $1 million, I'll make $1 million.
Your evil money. Yeah.
It's not evil, it's their job, but I don't need the money, so why I don't know why I was worried about it. Like
yeah. That's it. Yeah. I'm kind of I'm in the same boat, kind of like being approached by some publishers, and I'm kind of yeah, I don't know. I feel like it gives me unneeded pressure that I don't need, because I have the Kickstarter money, and I should just develop it like full indie and just be a hero or whatever and not be tied.
Well, if you can do that, then that's great. But not everybody. Like, games are expensive to make in the amount of time that it takes, and if you can't run lean for that long, then that money dries up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But there are a few publishers that I talk to that like. I really like the people personally. There's a coolness factor, and if you don't have coolness, I would say that it's definitely worth it, because that's like all they really offer is, hey, you could be published under our umbrella, and people will immediately know this is a cool thing because it's us. But if somebody comes to you and they're fucking nobody and they have no presence anywhere, and they're just saying, "Oh, I'll give you $1,000 for 30% of your game," it's
I've
like,
gotten that.
no, you don't. Yeah, you're not doing anything. That's like basically a fucking, signing your soul away for nothing. So, yeah, again, probably on the same page here. You got to be really careful, but there are benefits with certain publishers. I will say they have a good success rate. You just never know if it's because of them or because they can pick the games that are going to make money anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely. Then that's the scary thing, is like you know that they know it's good, and so it's like there's some value to your idea that you have. So are you gonna? I don't know. There's just like some publishers that want you to like give up the IP entirely, and it's just like, I don't know. That's scary too.
See, that's what Adult Swim did to me. And that's probably who you're talking about too. They offer that as like that's the first thing they go in with. They're like, "Oh, we can buy your IP," and like. Then I guess they sit there like, is he going to fall for it? I've never heard of anybody doing that ever.
I know.
But I don't know why. Apparently somebody does, because they offer it like the first thing every time. They just want to buy up all these properties.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main reason that was it for me. I didn't want to deal with them anymore, because that was like, I just got a really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it's kind of not a good look. Be doing that.
But then they came with Duck Game. They've had some really cool shit come out under Adult Swim. Duck Game is such a fucking trip, man. Like that
so
game.
Fucking good. Have you played it with just like 3 friends in a room, and you're just like kind of all a little drunk, and it's just a good time.
Here's the thing: I'm so old, and I don't have friends in a room anymore. Like, that's not a thing that exists for me. So if a game doesn't have networking, I can't play it.
Oh, damn it. Well, it's a lot of fun because you're just fucking screaming at each other, and it's just pandemonium. It's just stupid.
This fucking commentary. People think I'm such a fucking scumbag.
They say.
No, I'm drinking Diet Coke. I don't actually drink beer. My drink has been Captain Morgan for the last couple years. I think that's what I drink all the time.
Fine, Captain. Hold on.
What the fuck?
What?
But let the jury know that Eric was digging around in something down there.
I had to plug in my laptop because it's about to die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that could have something to do with the connection. Anyway. Okay. I totally lost track. You talk about the concept artist. You followed his tutorials. Is there any studio or individual that it's like you find yourself trying to not necessarily mirror what they're doing, but mirror the approach that they take?
Like the approach.
Like anybody you think in game dev right now that's like doing it the right way.
Who's doing it well? Man, I don't know. Who's doing it well? Who's doing it the best? I think Spaceboy Games. They just all. I mean, not to like fucking ass pat them so much, but I feel like they got it.
You are just congratulating my mortal enemies over and over.
Are they? They're not your mortal enemies. You like them. They're your best buds.
I'm their Gary. They're the Ash, and I'm Gary.
You're fucking Gary.
Yeah, I came. I had every advantage. You know, I'm fucking Oak's son or grandson. I don't remember. And they're all like coming out of left field. They're like, I've got the Pikachu. You know, it's like I don't even know how to deal with them anymore.
But Gary's the cool one who gets all the babes.
Does Gary get babes at some point? I just know that he's like perpetually like a bitch fest all the time.
No. Gary's the one. Gary's the rival, and he's like Ash is always getting like fucking electrocuted by Pikachu at the beginning, and then Gary's just like, check out these hot babes that are just next to me, and I'm a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. Well, fucking yeah. Gary's the shit.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not James, you can be James.
Who's James? Oh God.
James.
I probably am James. Trying to steal Pikachu, which is a metaphor for stealing good ideas from people or something.
I don't even know, man. Life is Pokemon.
I guess so. It's
we,
a big.
We talk. So you like Spaceboy? You like what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So much of my approach comes from Zach, and I think Zach's kind of like piloting that ship as far as their marketing engine is concerned, and the reason why they're so visible. I mean, the first indie dev podcast I did was with Zach, and it was like over a year ago, and it was just basically me like asking, how did you go from nobody to like people caring? And he said, gifts, man, like gifts all the time. And so I've tried to kind of parody what he does, maybe slightly different. And then Sandy does fucking Undertale fan art and gets like 9 million followers.
Holy fuck. Yeah, that was pretty crazy when that happened. Oh man.
No, he's really he's good, and he's fucking patient doing fucking animations. He does them for like days. That's thanks.
Yeah. I listened to that podcast that you did with Zach yesterday, and he talks about having he's like he read a book or something, and then he started getting Indians to answer his emails for him and stuff, and just like I don't, he sounds like crazy optimized.
I don't think that's the Zach that exists today.
I hope not.
Because like we did another one recently. I don't know if he's mellowed out or whatever, but yeah, that was dark Zach, and he's come back, I think, from the paying Indians to like wipe his ass.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good look.
Stupid Zach.
Yeah. But yeah, those if you if you make games on Twitter, don't fucking. Okay, can I just have a little? This is my advice segment. Don't fucking post screenshots. Post GIFs. Make them 60 frames per second. Make them fucking good, and then you win.
I don't know if I could record a 60 FPS GIF and not have it get all fucked up.
Really?
Yeah, I mean everything I'm doing with GIF cam is like 33 frames a second.
Oh, I don't know if mine are 60. Well, I think they are.
What are you using?
I use Fraps, and then I capture the video. My process is really fucked up too. So I capture it in Fraps as a video, then put it into Virtual Dub, and then crop it and make that a GIF. And so it saves like a bunch of frames. And then I put that into Photoshop and make a GIF of that, and then export it to easygif.com, and then make it super fast until it is about the same frame rate.
So here's what I do. I think, hey, this is a thing, and I open GIF cam, and I click record, and then I click save, and that is all.
You gotta get that 60 FPS though. How else are you?
I don't think it's helping you.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't think anybody's launched themselves higher with GIFs than I have.
I think you're doing it the best. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just volume, man. Like annoy the shit out of everybody all the time.
I know. I've kind of taken a break from posting GIFs recently, and it's just like,
well, that's a mistake. People are gonna forget. They're gonna say,
but I'm gonna make a big comeback and come out of the shadows, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that thing.
Formerly retired GIF samurai returns to the scene.
Just cut my hair and then come out of the darkness.
Yeah, I use EasyGIF too, the website, because I probably found it the same way as you, just like finding a way to optimize GIFs by Google searching.
Yeah.
And that was like the first result.
Yeah. Whoever made that is awesome.
Yeah. What a cool dude. I don't even think I have Photoshop anymore.
What? What do you make? What do you do your animations in?
I use Pixel Edit.
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty low tier, like $9.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think I'm using any software currently besides Windows that's more than like $9 for anything.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't acquire these software programs.
Mr. Pod does not condone computer piracy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Or do it.
I don't
Whatever.
care.
Anarchy, punk dev. That's what we're all about here.
Whatever gets you the likes is, I guess, the motto.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like completely unknown, Adobe's gonna go after you. If people know about you, they'll approach you and be like, maybe you should plug our products.
Yeah. They say it at gunpoint or something.
Yeah. Okay. What else? We've stagnated. This never happens to me. I'm always seamlessly from thing to thing, like a podcast ninja. Who's doing your music? You talked about them already?
Yeah, my friend Box's closer, who's going to be my soon-to-be roommate, is going to do most of the music, I feel like. And then I might hire some other people as well.
Box's closer.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Is he a cool guy, or is he a cool guy? No, like, do you find that you like to work with people that are like close by, so you could punch them if they fuck up?
Yeah, that's always good. Just give them a few bruises, and they usually churn out the work that you want them to. That's
yet another problem with Space Boy. Those guys are like all worlds apart from each other. Nobody can get punched in the fucking face if they screw something up.
Yeah,
they're so bad.
Who would win? Would Zach Bell win in a fight, or would Bandy Greg?
I have to say, I think Zach probably outweighs Sandy by like 100 pounds.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
I don't know for sure.
But can't Sandy squat like crazy huge weight?
I don't know if he can squat Zach. No, I'm joking. Zach is like a power lifter, and Sandy is like a rabbit.
Oh, Zach would squash me and then eat me. That's what Sandy Crest just said.
It'd be good protein. And
Yeah.
then he'd go get his pump on. I don't know.
That-
Zach is. I don't think weight wise. I think I'm probably bigger than Zach, but I'm pretty sure he's stronger than I am.
Yeah. But you got that dad strength though. What does he have?
Yeah, I've got that old man strength, and you get that from carrying around babies all the time.
Yeah.
Like my lower back is fucking ripped because I just carry an increasingly heavier thing.
Have you played The Last of Us at all?
I haven't. I don't.
Man.
I don't play games.
Do you really not play any games?
You bring up Dark Souls, and I think I'm the only person on the planet who's never opened that game up and played it.
Christ. Go do it.
I know everybody says that. Nathan Rat Casket. He said, "Well, you're fucking up because I haven't played Dark Souls," and I think I'd like it. It's just one of those things. So many people have told me that I need to play it. I feel like I shouldn't.
Same thing happened to me with Undertale. But Undertale was this weird anomaly that happened. I feel like where the entire internet was just consumed by it, and I couldn't avoid it. Like it was just part of culture for like a few weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Well, a few weeks you say, but there's still like copies of that game are still selling rapidly.
I know they're still going. I mean, I didn't even finish it, but I didn't see what it was all about, and I was like, man, I don't know. Do I need to play this? Do I need to play what everyone's playing?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like clearly it's not for everybody. Like,
No.
it's not one of those things that's like you have to play this. This is the most amazing. Like, but that's how it was treated, and that's what was confusing to me.
But it was like, and it was even more so that, like, I didn't want to just play it because people were playing it, and I was like, I'm gonna have a fun time playing this. It was just to be like in on what everyone was talking about, and just to know what all the references were.
Yeah, but it is true. You do have to play it a few times probably and beat it a couple times at least to really fully appreciate the game. The soundtrack is fucking awesome. First of all,
it rules.
And the idea that the first time you play it can be completely different in tone to the second time. Like, if the first time I played it, I was just playing it on stream, so I was like, what's the most entertaining way I could play this? And so I just killed everything and everybody. Because, whatever, it's a video game, and people were treating me like I'm some sort of a sociopath. Which may be true. I don't know.
Might be.
But, I thought this will be the best way to play because it'll be fun to watch. And then I saw somebody, I think it was the Game Grumps, I saw somebody play it the pacifist way. And it's such a fucking hilarious game. Like, there's just so many things that I missed out because I was mean. And then if you watch it the way where you kill everything, it's like a fucking horror show where you are the villain.
Fucking nightmare. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy, the contrast, and there's like 100 tracks in the soundtrack because there's so many different remixed versions for the different scenarios. It's just awesome.
That guy's nuts. I didn't know there was 100 tracks.
Yeah, go listen to it sometime because it's like they're simple kinds of tunes, but they're reused and like remixed, and I think it's 101. Maybe I might be thinking Dalmatians, but it's worth a listen. I do it while I'm streaming. I listen to game soundtracks, and that's been one of my favorites. That one and Shovel Knight because Jake Kaufman is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Man, soundtrack of that rules as well. Man,
but again, it's a boring game. Like,
Shovel Knight?
It's not like a great game. It's just like it's like an indie darling.
Yeah, I saw gameplay of it and I was like, man, this just looks like, I don't know, that Scrooge McDuck game or like I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
That Scrooge McDuck game. You mean DuckTales?
DuckTales? Yeah. I don't know. Jumping around, pogo sticking
Apparently, Scrooge McDuck has a stronger brand identity than the show that he's from.
to me, I guess. I don't care
Scrooge
about
McDuck, he's really got the best brand. He would be good on Twitter. He'd be better than DuckTales, apparently.
He's got a pool of money.
Huey and Dewey and whatever the fuck, those guys are nothing. It's all about Scrooge. But yeah, I played the shit out of DuckTales on the NES.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how old you are, but that game was like awesome for me.
Yeah. I'm 21.
Oh, so you're too young to understand.
Yeah, I never played DuckTales.
Yeah, so many of these games, they're like mimicking what was popular on the NES and is no longer popular.
Yeah. But it's still popular to, I don't know. Is it the nostalgia factor?
No, I think it's almost just because it's new again. Like, so many people didn't play these games that they're like, the whole Metroidvania thing. How many of these people buying these games ever played Metroid or Castlevania? Like, none of them.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes from. But they've played Metroidvanias. They're all about Metroidvanias, but they don't.
For sure.
They don't really understand, which is fine. I'm not being critical. It's just the age gap.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, have you saw Shenmue 3 or whatever, the Kickstarter for that?
Yeah, I loved Shenmue.
It's like you did. Yeah, but like, who wants to play that now? It seems kind of outdated.
Like, I could talk about Shenmue all day, but I think my favorite part about Shenmue was the horrible localization. And it seems like they're still maintaining that somehow. Like, in the modern era where it's so easy to have good translations and everything, the trailer for Shenmue 3 has, like, the most robotic, terrible dialogue.
I love it.
And it made how many millions? Just from who?
Scrooge McDuck.
What?
He used his pool of money and he bought Shenmue 3. No, I'm just kidding.
Scrooge McDuck has no time for things like that.
What does he do?
Gathers gold bars and coins.
I guess so.
I mean, when you spend all your time making a swimming pool out of gold coins, then you don't really have time to adventure as a real. But yeah, if you ever have an opportunity and you haven't before, you should definitely go on YouTube and look up like funny Shenmue dialogues.
Yeah,
because
the sailors and the seamen, is that one?
They recorded like 1 million different dialogues for everything because it's like an investigative kind of game. And so you'll go through and you'll be like, I'm looking for a man who's creepy. And then it's like clearly at a different time recorded some old lady like, a creepy old man? I've seen one of those. Not recently. And it's like every dialogue is like that. It's just fucking solid gold, but it would never fly today. Like, it's just so stupid.
I really want to know what they're going to do.
Yeah, or you like walk up to this guy at one point, and you don't say anything. You're like, hi. And the guy's like, shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. If you don't shut the hell up, I'm going to make you wish you had. And that's like, I'm not making it up. That's literal dialogue from Shenmue 2.
And you're just like, okay.
And it's not anybody you've met before. And you didn't say shit to the guy. He's just like, he's so pissed off. It's like they just recorded random people in a bar and put it into the game. But that was like why the game was good.
Just because of how weird it was? Like,
yeah, just because it didn't make any sense. It was just nonsense all the time. Shenmue 2 was more about arm wrestling than fighting. And the first one was like a martial arts game. In the second one, people are like, you want to fight? And then you like go into arm wrestling mode and you arm wrestle them. And that's what a fight is. And plus everybody's like racist because I think you're in China, but your character's Japanese.
No.
Like, oh, samurai boy. You know, like, it's just super, I don't know. It's so out there, man. I wish it translated. I don't know if there's a Dreamcast emulator out there, but I would definitely recommend it just for people that have a lot of patience. I would recommend playing the game.
Yeah. I actually brought my Sega Dreamcast up here to the apartment in Boston. So are there any good Sega Dreamcast games I should play that I don't already know about?
Besides that one?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the thing about Sega Dreamcast, that you could just download the games and burn them onto CDs and they work?
Yeah. My friend just told me that yesterday and it fucking blew my mind. I was like, what?
That was why it was an awesome console. Like, I installed Linux on my Dreamcast and all kinds of shit. Like, you can do anything with those.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's great. Greatness. Another one, Power Stone.
Yeah.
Power Stone is the best.
There's an old game store here in Boston called Replayed, and they have Power Stone 2, like the original boxed copy, and it's going for like $70 or something.
I've got that game. I just I don't have my Dreamcast anymore. I think I ended up like fucking it up trying to modify it or something. But I've got Power Stone 1 and 2. Power Stone is an awesome game. It was like a fighting game, but completely three-dimensional, like roaming.
Yeah.
Almost like Bushido Blade, but action-oriented.
And there's like boss fights that sometimes show up in them or something.
Yeah, but the multiplayer was really where it shines. It was before Smash. I think, wasn't it? I think it was.
Wait, yeah.
Smash was on the N64. So I guess it might have been slightly after, but it was like when you played like 4-player against your friends, the matches would go from like you're in an airship and then the airship explodes and you're fighting like falling through the sky, and then you like land and there's like turrets that you can jump into and shoot each other. It's just it's one of the more fun. Like if you thought Duck Game was fun, like buckle your seatbelt because that game is it's got a lot to it.
Yeah, I definitely got to get that then.
Get it in a legal way.
Yeah.
Or not, whatever.
I'm sure Sega is going to get on my ass about it.
Support game developers that probably have been long let go by Sega.
What are they doing now? They should come work for me.
Power Stone. Power Roko.
Power Roko.
And then the character names like Wang Tang. I don't remember. But other than that, I don't know. I have a lot of Dreamcast games. I played the Serena Williams tennis game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gotta have that.
Gotta have that. Instant classic. I have MLB 2001 and NBA 2001 here.
Yeah. It's all about Serena Williams.
All right.
Choo Choo Rocket.
Choo Choo Rocket.
That's the name.
They have
of
that
the
for the Game Boy Advance. That's a weird time.
Combat Core is not. Anyway, this is kind of taking a veer.
Yeah.
So what's your ETA on release for the game? Do you have any idea? Are you even wanting to like say?
I think I said late 2017 is what my estimated time was.
That's a safe one.
Yeah.
You've got some time to either do it or disappear before then.
Yeah, maybe I'll go to Mexico or something.
Mexico, would not recommend.
No. Where's a good place to change your identity, live a new life?
I don't. Why would I know that?
I don't know.
It seems like the best place would be somewhere that you know people.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to like just go and start over, right? So you start building those. Go to GDC, meet people that you can eventually hide out with.
Okay. I guess that's a plan.
Grow a woolly beard and shave your head. No one will ever recognize you.
Facial reconstructive surgery.
No, I'm pretty sure just the beard and the head would do it.
Okay.
I mean, come on. That's a little crazy.
Let's not get too crazy.
Okay, so is there anything in particular that you want to talk about? We probably should have planned a little bit more than this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty tired now. It's like 1 a.m.
Okay, so we can call it quits. I think we're running at about an hour.
Is that all right? We could talk more.
No, an hour's fine. I mean, that's just
All right.
fine. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Follow Eric at Eric Smack on Twitter for some cool shit, or follow Dokoroko.
It's Dokoroko game.
Dokoroko game,
Yeah.
which I think you'd probably find if you just typed in Dokoroko.
Yeah, you would.
It was Dokoroko taken?
Yeah, it was. And it was by like a swim team or something. I'm not sure what it is.
Doko Swim.
I was like, you bastards.
So, okay. Twitter is awesome.
Twitter's a good time.
I always avoided it because I don't know, I'm old or whatever. And I always just thought like nobody has anything important to say on Twitter. And then as I started finding out that I don't have anything important to say, I kind of gave it a try.
And you said more unimportant stuff, and you just added to the pool.
More than you could possibly imagine.
But I love it.
I don't remember the last time I said anything of substance. And everybody's loving it. It's infecting my real life. I've been sending my wife emails of just total nonsense. Like when I hit 69 followers, I took a screenshot and I sent it to her, and she just replied with divorce papers. And,
so now you're married to Twitter, and you.
I really can't. It's like I can't differentiate sometimes. I go to family events and I'm like, "Don't you know how Twitter famous I am?" And they're like, "What?"
I definitely wrote that on my OkCupid profile. I was like, I have 4,000 followers on Twitter. Doesn't that mean anything?
Are you doing that? So let's talk about that if you're not too tired. Like,
yeah.
Are you online dating?
Yeah, I'm on Tinder. You can find me on OkCupid if you want.
Why? What made you do that? Is it just hard to find people these days?
I guess so. I
didn't exist in a time where that was a thing that you had to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty good, the matching process, and it just like links you with weird ass people like yourself, and then I can kind of skip the bullshit introductions and general small talk, and we can just talk about weird shit immediately. So that's a plus.
Yeah, or you could just watch Mr. Pod. I interview all the single-lady game developers.
All of them.
I guess just the one. That's the one, and that's all.
There's more.
There really. So this is a call out to all you single-lady game developers. I will have you on Mr. Pod, and we will hook you up with all the eligible bachelor game developers.
Oh yeah, you should definitely do a speed dating podcast.
That sounds like a lot of effort.
Sounds horrible.
It is. We're coming up on Valentine's Day, so if you start spiraling into despair, you just turn up Mr. Pod. Send me a DM, and I'll give you personal information of our guests, and you can go do stuff to them.
Yeah, my birthday is actually Valentine's Day, so I double spiral into despair.
Oh, that sucks. Because then if you don't get a present, it means a lot more.
Yeah.
Just don't use 1-800-Flowers.
No.
Because they'll fuck your life up.
What happened?
Last year, actually no. This has been so fucking long. When my wife was last pregnant,
Okay.
I used 1-800-Flowers, and I was like, I'm going to surprise her. She's a teacher. I'm going to surprise her at school with some flowers, and it'll be good because, everybody fucking jacks off about their flowers at the school. And they just never showed up, and I had her all, pumped. So my pregnant wife is sitting there, not getting flowers, and everybody's, parading them around and, dancing through the hallway. My husband got me this bouquet. I have never yelled at a customer service person before.
Oh my god.
But I did that time. I was really unfair. I got on Twitter. I was like, 1-800-Flowers is trying to like ruin lives today. Apparently, it was a big thing because it was getting like all the retweets. They really fucked up a lot that day.
And that's the day they fucking have it hardest. Like, I'm sure they just get slammed on that.
Yeah, and they don't do it. It's the fucking local florists that they subcontract to that are making the mistakes. But it was just I'm never gonna use them again, even though it wasn't their fault. And they refunded my money, which was good.
That's good.
So use them, but don't ever use 1-800-Flowers. Those pieces of shit.
They'll ruin your mouth. Mr. Pod, 1-800-Flowers will ruin your Valentine's Day.
So this has been another exciting episode of Mr. Pod. Episode 18 is in the books. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section.
Good night, folks.
Thanks for watching.
It's been a pleasure.
You dirty, dirty bastards.